No deal for Jessie Bates, and, well, drama is starting to unfold. Here we go, Bengals fans. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com and the Locked On Bengals podcast. And look, you knew it, I knew it, we all knew it. Jessie Bates and the Bengals weren't going to agree to a long-term deal by Friday's 4 p.m. deadline. And even though we're posting this a little earlier than that 4 p.m. deadline, that's the case. But some details have come out about it, and I think it's quite interesting. The first of which, Josina Anderson reporting, quote, "I'm told that Jessie Bates has no intentions of reporting to training camp nor playing on the franchise tag. The two sides are currently unable to come to terms on an extension by today's deadline for long-term deals for players that are designated with the franchise tag." So basically, the Bengals had until 4 p.m. to agree to a long-term deal with Jessie Bates. That's not going to happen. And why is that not going to happen? And more on him maybe not reporting to camp in a second. But why is that not going to happen? According to Ian Rapoport, it's because of guaranteed dollars. At least a big part of it has to do with the guaranteed money involved. Ian saying, quote, "The Bengals' final offer in guaranteed money to Bates was only $4 million more than he was set to make this year, which the franchise tag, it is only a one-year deal, but it is guaranteed, $12.91 million for safeties. So essentially the Bengals offered around $16.91, $17 million in guaranteed money. That was basically, according to Rappaport, 4-year extension on top of 2022. And so why would Bates take that? And I think a lot of people are going to get on the Bengals, and rightfully so, because anyone thinking that they're going to get Jessie Bates locked up with $17 million guaranteed, that's less than half of what Minkah Fitzpatrick got from the Steelers, for example. But this also shouldn't shock you, because the Bengals, well, they just don't give out huge guarantees. Trey Hendrickson got $16 million guaranteed. And even though there were, his contract this year wasn't officially guaranteed, last year's was, this year it kicked in right away. It would have been really hard for the Bengals to get out of that unless Hendrickson just bombed. So who knows exactly what the specifics are, but on the surface, only $17 million guaranteed. That sounds low for Bates, but it's just sort of how the Bengals have operated. The biggest guarantee they've given out to all of these free agents that they've added, right? So let's just start this year. Lyle Collins, Hayden Hurst, Alex Kappa, Ted Karras. Last year, whether it's Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hilton, the year before, DJ Reader, Trey Waynes, all of those guys. The highest guaranteed number was Reader with $20 million. The highest. And outside of that, Jamar Chase, $30 million guaranteed. It's because he was the 5th overall pick. Joe Burrow, $36 million guaranteed. It's because he was the 1st overall pick. The Bengals haven't given out guaranteed money. And we've talked about it on this channel. The guaranteed part of it is going to matter and could come into play. And this is a scenario where it certainly has come into play. Now, do I think that's the only thing that's holding this back? Probably not. No, because my bet is it's $4 million extra guaranteed, but odds are you see, years 2 and 3 of that deal at least. It's not like it would just be, where they cut bait after a year. I don't think that's how they would set up the contract. And there would be bonuses and different things attached to it at the beginning of each season probably. But we're speculating on that aspect. Overall, people are going to crush the Bengals for this. And I understand that. I do. And I get people that are going to be like, man, Bates is a really, really high-end safety. Aren't you going to give him more guaranteed money? Well, two things. One, the Bengals are going to have to give more guaranteed money than they're used to guys like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Probably not in that order. Probably Tee Higgins, if they want to get a deal done with Tee Higgins. And so clearly what they're telling me, and my takeaway from this, is they do not value Jessie Bates the way they value Tee Higgins if they get a deal done with him. Certainly Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, because they're going to have to get out of the we don't give out guaranteed dollars. The Steelers did this for years, and then TJ Watt forced their hand, and they had to give out guaranteed dollars. And so that's going to happen for the Bengals. It's a matter of when, not if. It's just not happening with Jessie Bates. And so, he can talk about I'm not going to show up to camp. I don't want to play on the franchise tag. Well, what are you going to do? Yeah, I mean, if you don't show up to camp, fine. I still think that's a poor decision. I've been critical of the idea of that, not showing up to camp. But if he doesn't show up to camp, are you really going to miss the season, miss half the season, and cost yourself that money? I mean, he's set to make $12.91 million. That's more than double what he's made over the first 4 years of his career. So I still don't buy it. I think this is posturing. I think this is an instant reaction. Heck, maybe the David Mulugeta, his agent, in Bates' camp as a whole, they're leaking this to hopefully sneak in something by that deadline or, get someone to call the Bengals about trading for him or whatever the case is. But ultimately, I expect Jessie Bates to play for the Bengals in 2022. Are you really giving up that money? I don't think so. Will he show up to camp? Maybe not. I think that's going to do more harm than good, though. He needs to have a career year this year if he's going to play on the tag so he can get paid next offseason. The Bengals, probably not going to be that team. And who knows? What I do know is that the Bengals, unable to get a deal done with Jessie Bates, they don't value him the way he values himself. I understand both sides, and it's going to be quite interesting to see what he does when the Bengals veterans report to training camp and report for training camp on July 26th. We'll have more on Bates. We'll have more on this entire team all throughout camp and leading up to camp right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Check out allbengals.com as well. We have a ton of articles up there. And as always, subscribe to the Locked On Bengals podcast. For our channel coordinator, Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien signing off for now right here on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.